Houston Texans went into Week 10 of the season with a 3-5 record. They hit the road for some playoff action now as the hottest team in the NFL, haven't lost since, winners of 9 straight games.
CJ to throw, left side of the end zone. Touchdown, Dalton Schultz.
Go! That's what you do! That's what you do! Let's go!
They roll into Pittsburgh this week, terrible towlers with some sore wrists. Steelers took them on the ride of their lives to get here. Not sure how many they have left to give, but keep sticks handy because by the grace of the football gods, they still have more football to play.
Holden, the kick is no good! It is wide right! And the Steelers are the champions of the North!
That fourth quarter last week was insane in the membrane. Just one what the football play after another, all the way to the end. It was the game Pittsburgh Deb and her husband envisioned when they heard Pittsburgh signed Aaron Rodgers. His play when it mattered, vintage A-Rod, 294 yards, a TD with no mistakes. There's a Severance character whose past self would tell you he's pretty clutch.
Rodgers protected, throws to Austin for the touchdown!
Pittsburgh survived a missed extra point from a guy who's only missed 2 extra points in 4 years. Survived missing their star receiver for the last 2 games. Now they have to try and survive Houston's defense. Didn't look the part last week, but by halftime they had yanked most of their A-team. BA and Murdoch weren't happy, but big picture, Texans held teams to 17 a game, fewest yards per game allowed, 6th toughest on third down. Plenty of takeaways.
Which then creates a wobbly duck up in the air, and the Texans able to capitalize.
Most of those takeaways of the INT variety, Rodgers drawing a secondary that held quarterbacks to the 3rd lowest rate, 3rd lowest completion percentage allowed.
3rd and 6, quarter begins. Mahomes downfield for Hollywood Brown, intercepted underneath. Kamari Lassiter.
They have 4 DBs with 10-plus passes defensed this season and 4 INTs. Safety Kalen Bullock, 54 rating, 10 passes defensed, 4 INTs. Cornerback Derek Stingley, 57 rating, 15 passes defended, 4 INTs. Jalen Petrie, 50 rate allowed, 11 passes defensed with his 4 INTs. And Kamari Lassiter, a 74 rating, 17 passes knocked down, 4 picks. He didn't play last week, but they hope the rest will allow him to go this week. If he's out there, no Waldos to go after. They held tight ends to the 3rd lowest rate, wide receivers to the 4th lowest. DK Metcalf rested at least, 6 touchdowns, 850 yards. No one else on the team cracked 500 this year.
Got it to DK Metcalf. And fighting his way for the touchdown.
Rodgers, other options on the outside, MVS, 34 yards versus Baltimore. Adam Thielen, 43 yards.
Rodgers putting it up top, and it's brought in by Thielen.
Calvin Austin, 55 yards and a Rodgers touchdown.
And it is a horrible thing when it happens to you.
Austin's 55 yards, more than double his season yards per game average. Same is true of Pat Freiermuth's 51 yards versus the Ravens.
In the middle, it's Freiermuth. 1st and goal, Pittsburgh at the 6.
But here they are, and it's the cast that helped them put up 26 points in their dramatic win, and that is 6 games with 26-plus points in their last 8. So their offense has been putting up plenty of points down the stretch.
Toss to Warren. Found a little opening, and away he goes!
Rodgers' tackles have to show up big. Will Anderson, 12 sacks. Danielle Hunter, 15. The team doesn't blitz much, still racked 47 quarterbacks this year.
Herbert surveying, and runs out of time again. And there's Will Anderson getting in on the act.
Derek Barnett, 5 QB takedowns. Danico Autry, 3.5. So even when their 2 big guys take a breather, it doesn't let up. Rodgers took fewer than 2 sacks per start. Right tackle Troy Fautanu gave up 4 sacks, not bad. Left tackle Broderick Jones gave up 8 though.
And look out! That gets to him back at the 42. Hutchinson was there first.
Rodgers may want to loosen those old legs up. Texans gave up 6.4 yards per escape to quarterbacks, only one team worse. But they held running backs to 3.7 a carry, only one team better.
1st and goal.
Taylor gets blasted by Anderson.
Now they take on Jalen Warren and Kenneth Gainwell in this one. Each guy averaged over 4.5 per run this season. Gainwell usually sees more action in the passing game, though. He led the team in targets, receptions, and yards last week, for example. 8 catches, 64 yards.
Gainwell slipping inside. Through the tackle of Washington, Kenneth Gainwell.
Warren chipped in 33 receiving yards week 18, 66 rush yards at a nice 4.7 clip.
Try to change that. Warren right, they do so. Good gain to the 24.
These teams' offenses are a lot alike. They both averaged 23 points per game.
Stroud over the middle, and he's got another open receiver for a touchdown.
They both throw more than run, both equipped with a star quarterback who has one star pass catcher he's working with, along with a vet tight end type. CJ Stroud's season kinda ho-hum on paper, but did enough to get him to the playoffs.
The run, Stroud circling, throwing, end zone, touchdown!
Stroud is facing a defense that likes to dance to the ballroom blitz, 7th highest blitz rate. His numbers this year pretty much the same versus 5+ pass rushers as 4 or fewer. Steelers defense nowhere near as good as Houston's this season, but they held teams to 22 a game by being top 10 good in the red zone.
Ramsey, it gets him on the sack.
Yeah! Hell yeah, Jalen!
Only 2 offenses were worse inside the 20 than Houston's, and they struggled on 3rd down too. Winning on 3rd down was not Pittsburgh's defensive specialty, so keep an eye on that battle. Steelers' play versus the pass wasn't stellar either. A 92 rate allowed, over 7 yards per attempt given up. Only 3 teams allowed more yards per game than they did. They gave up 238 yards to Lamar Jackson, and he only threw 18 times.
Reloads and throws to Flowers downfield. He's got it for a touchdown.
They gave up over 13 yards per attempt to Lamar, 38-yard TD allowed to Devontae Walker, that 26-yarder to Isaiah Likely that should have cost them the game, and 2 bomb touchdowns to Zay Flowers, one where they just lost track of him.
Fake to Henry
Did it
Jackson.
again.
Shot
They did it
downfield.
again.
Zay Flowers again. Zay Flowers inside the 20.
The semi-baffling part, Flowers easily Baltimore's clear WR1, same way Nico is for Houston. Collins finished with over 1,100 yards for 2025.
Wide open Collins, and it's a Sunday stroll in the park.
Jalen Noel, Xavier Hutchinson each had their moments. Jaden Higgins, the WR2, over 500 yards plus 6 TDs.
Higgins caught. Higgins touchdown. Texans 75 yards.
Pittsburgh's play versus wide receivers this year, middle of the pack. Worse versus tight ends, though. Only 3 teams gave up more than the 11 touchdowns that the Steelers gave up to the position, so watch for a good game from Dalton Schultz, maybe. Stroud's second favorite target, he gave him 777 yards this year.
Hooks a pass, back of the end zone, caught, touchdown!
Then there's the Alex Highsmith, Cameron Hayward, Derek Harmon, Nick Herbig, TJ Watt factor. Herbig, Highsmith, Harmon, each with a sack last week. TJ returned, reminded everyone that he's okay at this football thing, picked off Lamar.
Hayward, Highsmith, and TJ Watt. And that makes it all worthwhile for TJ Watt.
Watt, Herbig, and Highsmith, 7 to 9.5 sacks each this season. Stroud, not as easy to bury as he used to be. Texans and Steelers tied each other in sacks taken with 31 in 2025, top 10 good. Watt will battle right tackle Titus Howard, who has a 4.8% pressure rate allowed. The average for right tackles is 9%. Highsmith and Herbig versus left tackle Ariante Ursary. Pressure rate allowed was better than the average left tackle, but he did give up a team-high 8 sacks.
3rd and 13 could be a nightmare against this crew. Stroud is backpedaling. He'll be dropped.
That group fared better in pass protection, but they weren't able to open up a ton of running lanes. Woody Marks scratched out over 700 rush yards.
A yard,
Huge hole.
Woody Marks!
Really had to grind for them, though, only averaged 3.6 per try. Pittsburgh gave up 126 yards to Derrick Henry in their big win, 6.3 a run. That's the king, though. They held backs to 4.3 a carry overall. Not great, not terrible. Steelers 6-3 this year at home, only 3-5 versus teams over 500. Houston 4-4 versus 500-plus squads, so not too much better, 5-3 as the road team. This will be the 9th meeting between these two franchises. No playoff meetings. Steelers up 5-3. Most entertaining bout between them, say the 2014 season, a little Fitzmagic Big Ben action.
On a Monday night in Week 7, they fell behind Houston 13-0. But in less than a 2-minute span, the game and season turned.
Ben spreads him out a little bit, and he flips it, and it's thrown to the back of the end zone, and that's a touchdown. Antonio Brown, the left-hander, hits Lance Moore. And he throws the check down, and it is intercepted. Ready for the football at the 20, Tizo at the 15. And this is crazy stuff.
At the end of the second quarter, the Steelers scored 3 touchdowns in just 73 seconds.
And what a turn of events this has become.
The lightning-quick turnaround was due in large part to the most explosive offense in Steelers history.